All right, everybody. Hi, I'm Justin Roner from Agriscaping.com. So this is Pharmacy Friday. Like I told you, we moved the time a little bit back, so I just got back. And we're going to go out to my little personal pharmacy with a capital F. And as we get over there, what I'm going to do is we're going to meet up and we're going to talk about actually this Yerba Mansa that we're now transplanting into our yard. We're going to talk about what it can do for us health-wise, so you can help you grow your own health. And you'll see that obviously my little pharmacy, I don't have to drive down the street or nothing like that. I'm just walking my way back over here. You can kind of see little bits of my yard through the window there. And here we go. So this is my pharmacy as we're entering into now. We got to pass some of these wonderful herb trees. We'll talk about this one later. This is a chase pepper tree, one that's really great for balancing hormones, but we'll talk about that on another time. And here we are panning around. And this is my good buddy and friend and fellow certified agriscaper, Jason Tibbetts. So he runs a company called Eden Institute. And so he's one of our certified gardeners as well as one of our certified educators out here in the Mesa area and stuff. And he's always bringing a wealth of knowledge with him and a lot of awesome plants. And so I'm going to let him introduce this Yerba Mansa. Yerba Mansa. Yerba Mansa. See, I don't even got the pronunciation down right. So show us what you got.
So what we have here is a very powerful herb that's native to the Southwest United States. It has been found at almost every major archaeological site in Nevada and New Mexico and Arizona. And these are the beautiful flowers that it produces. It produces white flowers probably pretty much all through the warmer weather, mostly in the spring and the fall. Very powerful herb. I mean, Justin, you can smell it. It has a very potent
Well, it's got
smell.
it's got a smell that says I'm healthy.
Yeah, it's kind of very medicinal. Very medicinal. These leaves can be pulled off any time of the year and be steeped as a tea. The herb is renowned as antifungal, antimicrobial, antibacterial. I mean, it can take care of athlete's foot or whatever else, but it's especially powerful in flu season.
Well, let's take a look at those leaves. Let's bring those up into the camera so we can kind of see what those things look like. So you can just imagine that. So with the flowers coming out of it, and they come up in stalks kind of like this, right? Is that kind of how they grow in there? And so we got this nice kind of waxy leaf. You can tell it's something that can handle the heat.
Yep,
It's something that can handle the heat. You know, it reminds me actually a little bit about last week's one. We talked about tobacco. So wild tobacco got a little more of that waxy leaf, holds its moisture in really well as a plant.
I've even seen these up at First Water Camp up near the Superstitions. They're wild there, growing wild along the waterways.
Awesome. So around the waterways. So this is something that can handle a lot of moisture. So it doesn't
handle
need
a lot of
of
moisture.
That? I mean, is it going to need a ton of water
It
too?
prefers it, but it's very drought tolerant. So once it's established, I mean, you can see these rhizomes here.
Yeah,
once they get established, they're pretty robust, you know, and they can establish. Once they're established, they can take a lot of moisture, a lot of drought. Sorry.
Very cool. It reminds me a lot of kind of how the iris tubers. I mean, you know, I grew up with irises with my grandma and stuff, and so we always had those things growing. And I can see, look, it's got a little flower bud that's actually starting to grow up in the center on that particular one right there.
Coming out of the center there.
Probably not going to survive the transplant though.
Well, this will probably survive transplant.
Well, that will, but I'm just saying that little flower bud.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah. So transplanted via rhizome. So that's what we.
Yes.
And then what parts of the plant do we use? What are the medicinal? What do we use in medicinal?
So all parts of the plant are medicinal. The medicinal chemicals are most concentrated in the rhizome itself.
Okay.
You can harvest the leaves any time of the year and steep them as a tea. The most powerful medicinal part is this rhizome here. All the chemicals concentrate in the colder weather. So once the leaves start to get kind of a purplish red tinge to them is the best time to...
That sounds pretty too.
To pull
purplish
these out.
Red tinge.
Yeah.
Wintertime.
Yep. And then you pull these out and let them dry. Traditionally, they usually let them dry for about 6 months.
Okay.
It takes a long time for those chemicals to concentrate and dry out. And then once it's fully dried, they grind it up and use it as a tea that way.
Now I just ate one of these petals. It's definitely got a lot of oils in it. I mean, I can definitely just in terms of the medicinal quality, you always look for the things that have those essential oils.
Yep.
And that kind of clear your air passageways. Like as soon as you try eating it. So the petal. I mean, literally, I'm like, wow.
It's kind of a bitter, kind of a sharp.
Yeah, but very effervescent. I don't know what not really effervescent. What's the name for it? I mean, it just it cleared my nasal passage. I mean, I was having a little bit of allergy stuff going, but just having that right now.
My dad uses this to make a tea for his sinuses.
Yeah.
To clear his sinuses.
I believe it. That little pedal right there actually did some good for me just in that little moment of trying it right there. So yeah. I'm already appreciative of this little plant.
Yeah. And
so this is pretty cool.
It travels across the ground much like strawberries do, where it has across the top of
really?
the ground. So it doesn't have rhizomes under the ground so much.
So it kind of puts out a little shoot, more like how our strawberries are doing right here. These little ones that we got there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's not invasive in that regard. It will spread, but it's very easy to control because everything that's spreading is on the surface. It's not going to send rhizomes under the ground that get away from you.
Your neighbors aren't going to all of a sudden start getting these plants and wondering what you're smoking over there, kind of thing. Right? Okay.
Exactly.
Well, this is very good. So, Yerba Mansa. Yerba Mansa?
Yerba Mansa.
Yerba Mansa. And where do we even find stuff like this? I mean, you seem to be able to pull these things out of everywhere.
Yeah, it's starting to get more and more common, especially in the pond centers. Places, nurseries that are selling pond plants. You'll find it there because it likes the moisture around a pond. It's kind of a boggy, in its natural environment.
And we have some unintentional bogs in our garden right now, don't we?
We can try growing it.
So we're going to probably try growing this in some of our natural bogs. Now I wanted to show you guys what happens when you do a transplant at first, and this is so you don't get freaked out. You haven't all of a sudden got a black thumb and only have a gift in building soil when this kind of thing happens. So tell us what we got here and what's happening here.
So these plants I pulled out this morning. And they've been a few hours out of the ground, and we didn't bother trimming the back, but we probably should have. But we didn't bother trimming them back, and they wilted pretty good. But they've been planted; they'll do okay. You can even trim this way back, and it'll send out new foliage. But mainly, as long as you get that rhizome in there and that rhizome establishes well, the whole plant will come back out of it.
So once you get this rhizome kind of burying that thing under the soil, at what depth do you end up planting that little thing?
Oh, they're basically, the crown is just buried right there.
Okay, cool. So we're not totally burying it in there. We don't want to put it totally deep under the soil. That rhizome still needs to crest a little bit above the soil. Is that kind of like similar to what we do with our...
Basically level with it.
Okay, basically level with the soil. That's good to know. And so when we water it, it might settle a little bit. We want to make sure it's still covered though. Okay, very cool. So that's our Yerba Mansa. Yerba Mansa. And that's our pharmacy plant of the day for Pharmacy Friday. Thanks for joining us, Jason. It's always good to have you here in the garden. We love having him here. You guys can get your own Agriscaper if you want, serving you in your garden, just like Jason. He's here serving us here. We got them online. If you go to agriscaping.com, you can check them out. If you want to become a pro gardener like Jason and get checks from us, because we send him checks, and that's always nice to have, then make sure you get certified with us. We'd love to be able to connect you with those gardeners out there that are looking for some help. That's really all they're looking. They're looking for that support team. Agriscaping is providing that support network. Now it's starting to grow nationally, and so we want you to be a part of that. We want to be able to help you out and really make this system grow. Let's privatize and really localize the growing of your own health. We're doing that on Pharmacy Fridays. We'll see you next week.